Hello and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be discussing what's next for David Benavidez off the back of his win against Oleksandr Gvozdyk on Saturday on the Tank versus Martin card. So it's an impressive win for Benavidez. Obviously, first time in a long time he's been up at 175 pounds. Looked a little bit fleshy at the weight, to be fair, but put on a really good performance. Showed really early on a lot of great body work against Gvozdyk. Really, really bamboozled him. Gvozdyk did come back into the fight towards the back end of the fight. Looked a little bit like Benavidez, knew he wasn't going to knock him out, so he did take his foot off the gas a little bit, combined obviously with carrying that extra bit of weight, potentially a little bit more stamina issue down the stretch. But overall, a very, very good performance. Gvozdyk is a former Ring Magazine champion at 175 pounds and only lost to Artur Beterbiev in his career before that, so absolutely no mug whatsoever. So exploring the options at NX for Benavidez, obviously Turki Al-Sheikh had made it quite known that he wants to see Benavidez against the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol. They're fighting on October the 12th, providing everything goes well. I'm still not convinced around Beterbiev's recovery in that. However, that's for another day. I believe they'll do a rematch in that, so I think you could be at least tied up till April, May 2025 on the back of that. Other options are obviously, going back down to 168 pounds. We talked about Canelo in his post-fight press conference. We found out today that looks like Canelo and William Skull could be fighting now in September rather than Edgar Berlanga. We know Canelo tends to fight on Cinco de Mayo, which obviously would be a huge fight for Mexico if he fights David Benavidez next year. But for me, I think what they'll do with Benavidez, I think they'll get him another fight at 175 pounds. Towards the back end of this year, to help see what he's like at the weight even more. I don't really see the point of him going back down to 168 pounds. I think what they'll do, I think what Turki Al-Sheikh really wants to see is Canelo against Crawford. If Crawford gets past Madrimov and obviously Canelo keeps winning, which I'm assuming he will, I think that's the fight he really wants to make. That's one of the ones on his list. So normally what Turki wants, Turki gets. So in that scenario, I'm going to kind of rule out Canelo for Benavidez in the interim because, we're seeing Crawford's very, very close to Turki Al-Sheikh. He's got a tough fight himself against Israel Madrimov. He's no more. He was the chief sparring partner for Dimitri Bivol into the Canelo fight, which is a very interesting dynamic, obviously with Crawford potentially going on to fight Canelo. The eggs are being laid for me in that scenario. Moving on to Bivol and Beterbiev then for David Benavidez, presuming they fight twice, whoever comes out on top, Benavidez can't wait around and sit around and be inactive while he's waiting for that. Where he's in a bit of an interesting scenario is, you fight and beat Gvozdyk and you look fairly good in that. You can't go back now and fight somebody who's, below the level of Gvozdyk at 175 pounds because, you're not really finding anything out more about yourself than what you did that night on Saturday. So, a few potential opponents that he could look at, a few of the Brits could definitely be up there. Things don't materialize for them. Joshua Buatsi and Anthony Yard. We saw Callum Smith fight Beterbiev at the start of the year. We don't know if he's going to continue fighting or not. I don't think he's made an official announcement on that. But, they're all really good fights that we could potentially see. I don't really, like the Malik Zinad fight or anybody like that who's been beaten fairly recently by the likes of Beterbiev and Bivol. So, any one of those opponents, we know that a few of them are going through issues, Yard with a contractual situation, but just somebody, it doesn't have to be somebody who's, right at the top of the division, but so it has to be a progression on from Oleksandr Gvozdyk for me. We'll find a lot more out about Benavidez at 175 pounds. And then if Turki Al-Sheikh wants him to fight the winner of that, which I think he does, then hopefully, towards, maybe this time next year, if say Bivol Beterbiev do October and then February, March, potentially next summer, slash, autumn, September, October, we can see Benavidez against the winner of that fight, and hopefully he'll be competitive in that. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting scenario. Benavidez is in. Let me know in the comments any potential opponents you think he could fight. I'm just assuming that he's going to be fighting his next fight at 175 pounds, but he could fight at 168 pounds for all I know. But I'm just putting the clues together that I think I've seen so far. But yes, let me know who you think should be next for David Benavidez after his victory on Saturday.